Well, we are surrounded by these beautiful hills, and who can say that we are in the city of lakes, Udaipur, and we are here to cover a very important product for Honda. A very important product in the compact SUV segment, which is ruled by the Hyundai Creta. Today we are going to drive the Honda Elevate, and in this video we're going to tell you everything that you need to know about it. But before we go ahead, subscribe to Motor Rides if you haven't already, and press that bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload new review videos. So let's get started. So I'm going to quickly talk about the exterior of the car, some highlights, and Amit has done a detailed walk around of this car when the car was first unveiled. So you can check that video out in the I button above. So first of all, if you look at this car, it has a very fresh look, and it has this massive grille and it's pretty flat. It looks big and gives it that brawny SUV stance because of this grille. Now the whole grille is black, but you do get chrome inserts as an option. The only chrome that you get on the standard car will be here, and here you have a large Honda logo. There's no 360-degree camera, so that's a miss. And you get this bumper right here. Now another thing that you'll notice is that there's no radar, though this car gets the ADAS feature in the form of Honda Sensing, which is also available on the Honda City. Now on the sides you have this beautiful cluster. It looks really nice, and the headlamps look really good when they are lit up. You get LED headlamps. You have this LED DRL, which also doubles up as the turn indicator, and this nice looking LED fog lamps as well. Moving to the side, you have these large 17-inch wheels, and these are dual tone machine cut alloys. Nice big ORVMs with turn indicators right here. You get chrome finish for the door handles on the top variants, a satin finish roof rail, and you get some black rubber cladding right here, and this piece right here is also body colored. Now if you move to the rear, you have this nice connected tail lamp cluster, but this part does not light up. It lights up till here itself, and this is the tail lamp. Right here you have the turn indicators, which are bulb. The tail lamp is LED, and you have reverse lights right here. You have the IVTech badging because you get an IVTech engine, and the Elevate badging is right here. Here you have the Honda logo, and right here you have the reversing camera. Dual tone finish on the bumpers, and you get rear wash wipe, defogger, and a shark fin antenna. Now while we are at the rear, let's check out the boot. 458 liters of boot space. This is the most that you would get in this segment. So in terms of boot space, this car has the most space in its boot, and as you can see, we have 4 bags lying here, and there is room for even more luggage. You can easily fit 2 medium-sized bags and 2 cabin-sized bags very easily. Also, another thing to note is that the ground clearance is 220 millimeters, which is really nice and which gives the car a taller stance. Now overall, the car has good proportions, and the wheel arches are also filled pretty nicely, and it does look like a good compact SUV, and it will definitely grab some attention when you're driving the car. Now let's get inside and let's see what's elevated there. Now to get inside, you obviously get a key, and this key for this variant also has a request sensor. So this is what the key looks like. You have the lock and unlock button. You cannot open the boot with the key. So you also get this request sensor. This bit right here for the key, it looks a little out of place, does not look really nice. Honda could have done a better job, maybe implement it here or at some other place. This just looks very tacky. But to get inside, you can press the request sensor and open the door, and if you open the door, you get this nice brown finish leathered upholstery on the top variants. Right here you have the control buttons. The plastic quality is not the best, but it's good for the segment. Right here also you have hard plastics, but the leather finish right here is really nice. You get gray stitching on the leather, gray door knobs, and you have a big bottle holder right here, can store 1 liter bottles and some space right here as well. Now even though the ground clearance is so high, getting into the car is very easy because of these wide opening doors, and you can just step into the car like so. Now you'll find that the steering wheel is somewhat similar to the Honda City, but it does have a lot more controls. Nice leather wrapping on the top end variants, and if you look at the MID, you get a analog cluster right here for the speedo, and this one right here is a digital cluster for the tacho. And if you see, you get some information right here. It also gives you ADAS information, and you have a small screen right here which will give you more readouts. All the telltale lights are here, and you have the fuel gauge right here. The engine start stop button is right here. Now something new and elevated is this new screen which is floating, and the touch sensitivity of this screen is pretty good. It's got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Like you can see, this is connected wirelessly. The good thing is that it can also be connected via a wire, so you have 2 USB ports to do that, and you have this wireless charger which you can switch on or off whenever you have a phone stored here. 12-volt power socket right here, and you get 2 cup holders. This is the manual gear knob, very nice to hold, nice grip and nice leather finish. Here you have a small cubby space to store the key, and obviously the manual handbrake, and you have some space right here, and the armrest does not move. Besides that, you get auto dimming rimless IRVMs, and you also get a sunroof, which has become like a necessity in this segment. Besides that, everything is the usual. You get vanity mirrors on the sunshades for the driver's side as well as the co-passenger side. Only the co-passenger side is illuminated. The driver's side did not install a light here. Some cost saving there. There's no sunglass holder, so there is space right here, so they could have added one there, but we sadly don't get it. Other than that, hard plastics. This finish is really nice. It's plastic, but the wood finish looks really good. You get soft touch leather right here running across the dashboard, which is another nice touch. And as you can see, a flimsy little glove box, and it's not very huge. As you can see, there's a first aid box stored here with some paperwork, so you can store some stuff here. And the controls for the aircon are right here. I'm glad that these are button control and not touch sensitive, and you also get this up and down control, which is really easy to use. On the flip side, the buttons on the infotainment screen, they're very tacky. They don't scream premiumness. Like, this is a premium car, so this could have been better. Now let's talk about the seat. Now this is a nice leather finished seat which is really comfortable. You get good amount of support on the sides. There is good support for your lower back as well, and the cushioning is nice and soft. You will be very comfortable on long journeys. Also, if you look at the headrest, it's designed a little differently, and it kind of wraps behind your head, giving you a more comfortable head position. But another sad thing, another miss that Honda could have added are ventilated seats. So this car misses out on that, but they are pretty comfortable. Now let's hop on to the back and see what the seats there are like. Now, like the front, getting into the rear seat is also fairly simple. You can just step in like this, and the seat is set to my height. My height for reference is 5'9", and as you can see, there is plenty of knee room, plenty of leg space. There is space under the seat to put my feet at, and ample headroom as well. One small complaint, I'll be nitpicking, is that there is not enough lumbar support, and because the seat recline is quite nice. I mean, when you try to get comfortable and kind of rest your head on the headrest, the knees tend to come out a little bit, so there's not a lot of lumbar support. Other than that, seating 3 passengers here would be a challenge. 3 adults won't be comfortable. 2 adults and a child will be very comfortable. You get a central armrest with 2 cup holders. However, there is no tag here to pull the armrest. As you saw, I had to tuck my fingers in and then pull it out. Here you have 2 AC vents with airflow control and a 12 volt power output. But Honda could have provided probably a type C or a USB charger here. Magazine holders are available on both the seats, and you have small pockets to keep your phones as well. Besides that, ISOFIX mounts are standard. You also get reading lamps at the rear, and these soft release handles are also provided. Also, the door panel for the rear is similar like the front. You get black leather elements right here and grey door knobs. You get grey accents right here and 2 bottle holders. So those were the interiors of the car. Now let's get driving and tell you what the Honda Elevate is to drive like. So now we are driving the Honda Elevate, and this is the CVT gearbox, but what I want to show you is the 220 mm ground clearance, which makes it very easy to take on these kind of roads. Now as you can see, this is a very muddy road and we are going to go over it, and the body isn't scraping at all. So that's the beauty of the ground clearance that this car has. So if you want to take on some village roads, some bad roads, you can easily drive over them without any hassle. Now let's talk about the car. So we've been driving the car for about 50 kilometers, and I can fairly tell you how the gearbox, how the engine is performing. Now this is powered by a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated petrol engine, and it produces about 121 PS of power. Now it's not a turbo engine, so it is not very eager. It is a relaxed engine, and the power delivery is very linear. So you will have a very relaxed drive, and if you expect that this is going to perform like probably a 1 liter Kushaq or the Virtus, it's not. Comparing it to the 1.5 liter naturally aspirated counterparts from Kia and Hyundai, the power delivery is pretty linear. It's pretty relaxed, and you will find that the engine is not very eager. And I might be repeating myself, but let me tell you what the beauty of this engine is. Because this engine is so relaxed, it makes it really easy to cruise, and if you're on the highways, you are going to have a lot of fun, a relaxed drive, and overall your family is also going to be very comfortable. Now why I say that is because the NVH levels are very nicely contained. The cabin is pretty insulated, and you will have a very low tire noise, very low wind noise. The engine makes a sound when you push it hard, but otherwise it is a very smooth engine, and you will not hear a lot of grunting from the engine. There are no vibrations. It's pretty smooth. It's a 4-cylinder engine, so the vibrations and the sound are pretty much in check, and overall it's going to be very, very comfortable. The suspension, on the other hand, is a little bit stiff, and you're going to enjoy it on the highways when you're cruising at higher speeds, but in the city, on very bad conditions like the roads that we were in, you're going to feel the bumps creeping into the cabin and the back seat as well. And if you come across harsh bumps like in roads like Mumbai, it is going to be a little unsettling. In terms of mileage, the 50 kilometers that we have driven so far, it's been, the odor shows 12.5 kilometers to the liter. This is about 50% highway and 50% city, so you should expect anywhere between 13 kilometers to the liter of a mixed fuel efficiency. On the highways it's going to be more than that, around 15-16, but in the city it's going to be in the range of 11 and 12. So yes, if you're thinking that if a 1.5 liter naturally aspirated engine is going to be giving you that kind of mileage, you might as well go in for a turbo charged engine, which will be a little more fun to drive. So let me tell you what I meant by this engine not being very eager. And now right now we are on a highway at about 40 kilometers per hour, and if I want to push, that's what happens. And as you can see, it takes a little while to build the revs and shift the gears, make the shifts, and get to a higher speed. So that's what I meant when the car is not very eager. Now this is not a negative point. If you are someone who likes relaxed driving, who does not want to push the car really hard, and you just want to cruise and have a very relaxed drive, this engine is really good because it's very refined. It hardly makes any noise in the lower rev bands, and overall the NVH levels are very low. So a long cruise is what you're looking for. This is definitely the car for you. And if you do a lot of highway runs, you will enjoy driving this car. Now another really good thing about the Elevate is its steering. The feedback is really nice. It weighs up pretty well and inspires a lot of confidence when you're driving in the twisties. Also, the overall stability of the car is really nice. You're sitting nice and tall, but still there is very minimal body roll. Overall, it is a very stable ride. Also, the visibility up front is really nice. You'll really appreciate these haunches on the hood, and they give the car a little bit of a raised look and give you the feeling that you are sitting in a taller car. So yeah, if you like being up on top and you want to feel like you're driving a very big SUV, this car does serve that purpose. Also, in terms of braking, the feedback, the bite is really good, and you get a good feedback from the brakes as well, and you can almost immediately come to a halt. Now you also do get the paddle shifters if you want a little bit of manual control, but still the nature of the CVT still remains. But yes, it's a good thing that Honda has added paddle shifters as well. Now we did see what the CVT does when it's pushed hard and how the acceleration is not very quick. What I'm eager to see is how the car performs in the manual gearbox, and if the engine is still that lethargic to pick up speed. So let's get into the manual mode and tell you what that is like. So now we are driving the manual version, and it has also started raining, and right off the bat I can tell you that this is much more engaging to drive than the CVT variant, and the move on is much better. The acceleration that you need is much better on the manual than in the CVT. In terms of handling, in terms of the steering feedback, everything remains the same. What does change, however, is the fuel efficiency. The fuel efficiency of the manual is rated a bit lower than the CVT, and it seems to be true because on the MID I am looking at a number which says it's returning a mileage of 12 km/PL. Now that's because we have been testing the car. Since it's raining, while we were halted, the AC was on, so those numbers should be taken with a pinch of salt. Obviously we'll do a detailed mileage test when we get the car back home for a detailed review. So in terms of the clutch is nice and light. The gear shifts are very smooth, and as you can hear, the engine roars up when you try to push the car. It's similar to the CVT, but it's much more controlled, and you are in control when you are driving the manual. So yes, if you want an engaging drive and still want to buy the Elevate, the manual is the way to go. Also, I like the design of the gear knob. It fits nicely in the hand, feels nice. The leather wrapping gives it a premium finish, and it's fairly easy to shift gears. They slot in very easily. They're smooth, not notchy like some other cars that we have driven. Now, another really important and good thing is that the Honda sensing features come to the manual gearbox as well. So unlike other cars where you don't get ADAS features in the manual versions, this car gives you the ADAS features in the manual as well, which is really good. So if you buy the manual, you do not have to compromise on the ADAS safety features. Now in terms of ADAS features, the Elevate gets collision mitigation braking, which means that if it detects a obstacle or a vehicle in front and it senses that you're not slowing down, it will start applying emergency braking. It also gets road departure mitigation, which means that if you are coming out of a parking spot or you are parallelly parked on road and coming out of there, and if there is a vehicle coming in from behind, it will sense it and apply emergency brakes. It also gets lane keep assist, gets adaptive cruise control, and lead car departure warning as well. We've seen these features in other cars, but just to give you a quick recap, lane keep assist keeps you in the center of the lane, and we've seen that a little while ago. Lane keep assist keeps you in the center of the road if the lanes are marked properly. Adaptive cruise control, obviously you set the cruising speed and it will follow the car in front, and if the car in front reduces speed, your car will also start braking and reduce speed. Once the lead car picks up speed, your car will too pick up speed and get a move on and reach the cruising speed. And it also gets auto high beam, so if it detects a car with high beam coming from the front, it will put on the high beam of the car as well. And if it senses that there is traffic coming on from front, the high beam will be turned to low beam. So all those safety features are available on the manual as well as the CVT variant. So overall, in terms of features, it does miss out on some features that, like I have highlighted before, but it does get a good safety suite and ADAS features, which are now upcoming in the newer cars in this segment, like we saw in the Kia Seltos just last week. So who is the Honda Elevate for? Well, in my opinion, it's not a car for everyone. Enthusiast drivers would not appreciate how the car picks up speed, but the car is built with a purpose, and I guess Honda has been very clear about stating the purpose that this car has been built with. They are targeting customers who are looking for a comfortable SUV which can accommodate their whole family, keep them comfortable on long drives, and has given enough boot space so that you can go on those long trips and be very comfortable while you are on that long drive. It is a very relaxed car to drive. It's not very eager. So people who are very calm when they are driving and they just like to relax and cruise on the highway, they would really appreciate what the Honda Elevate has to offer. Now, we do not know the prices of this car, so we cannot actually compare it with the other cars in the segment, but in terms of features, in terms of dimensions, we have already done that. But what remains to be seen is how this car is priced. Knowing Honda, we expect a premium price tag, but if Honda prices this car smartly, I'm sure there will be a lot of takers for it. So that was the Honda Elevate for you. Let us know what do you think about this new SUV from Honda, and if you would run to the showroom to get your hands on one. Nevertheless, if you are looking out for a compact SUV, we would recommend that you give it a look and definitely take a test drive. Let us know if you have any questions, put them down in the comments, and subscribe to Motorides if you haven't already. Press the bell icon so that you get notified whenever we upload our next video. This is Vipul signing off. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, rev hard, rev free, and drive safe.